Hey, what is up guys? So we're going to be going over a tutorial on how to download YGOPRO Salvation Server. Now this is very similar to the application that I use called DevPro. They're all YGOPRO at its core, but on Salvation Server, the advantage that you get is you get to play with cards as soon as they make them. These guys like 24 hours around the clock, within a few hours or a day, they will release the cards to be fully played. Now just as a heads up, some of the cards may be buggy because these guys, like, they release this stuff so fast that sometimes they might forget one little small detail. They'll obviously change that within the next few days, so don't worry, but just keep that in mind that some of the things might be a little bit buggy, but you know, this is a new server, so eventually they'll get the things worked out. Anyways, so here's the main website. It's called YGOPRO.us. I'll put all the links that I'm mentioning down below in the description box. Now, before you even download this, one thing that is really important is that you have Microsoft.NET Framework. So it's an application that you need before you actually install this. So recommend you guys to get that first. If you're on Mac OS X, then it might be something else. I actually don't own a Mac, so I can't actually test it out. It says the thing is not fully supported. I don't know what that means. Again, I do not have a Mac. So anyways, in the future, they're probably going to make it run properly. But again, it's a new server, so that's why there's going to be probably a few bugs here and there. But eventually, like I said, they'll probably clear everything up. Anyways, so I assume most of my viewers are on a Windows-based client. But anyways, there is a Linux. There is Mac OS X, there's a mirror, which means a second link of the first one, and then there's also a torrent file. And it is an MSI file, so of course these are all going to be based off of a Windows client, unless, you know, of course, you can basically get anything on anything. You just have to know what you're doing. But anyways, so yeah, as soon as you download it, it's going to be an MSI file. You go ahead and open it up, and then you go ahead and install the actual application. Now, I've already done that. It's very, very simple. Now, first of all, I do want to mention, if you have any problems with anything working, I recommend you guys go to the bug reports or go to the forums and go ask around. You know, that's what the forums are for. Use this. I can't help all of you guys because I don't have all you guys' problems, but 99% of you guys that are having problems with this application is that you do not have framework, and that's the same thing with DevPro. You guys don't have this. Install this. It even mentions that you need this, but I know sometimes TLDR, you don't read the stuff. But anyways, so once you actually download the application, it's going to actually be in, you know, wherever you installed it into. I don't know if you're running an SSD or whatever, but anyways, so you're going to go ahead and actually double click on the launcher over here. So that's what you're going to do, and then it'll open up this page over here. Well, that's Dueling Network. This is Salvation over here. Anyways, so what you're going to actually need to do is you're going to have to create an account, of course. That way you can keep track of your stats. And then I have mine on remember username and password. One thing that's important over here, this is very, very important. You'll see over here in the upper left of, here, I'll put it in right here. So it's in the very upper left. You see where it says update complete, system messages will appear here. As soon as you install it, there's probably going to be an update because they update very, very, very frequently. And it actually has to check the files. So one thing I want to let you guys know is make sure 100% that there is this thing that says update complete. If you do not wait for that and you start logging in, you start doing stuff, you're going to notice that your deck is missing and like a lot of stuff will be really, really awkward. So make sure you do that. And you can also rescale this, but that's like irrelevant. Anyways, and I like how this looks. And this is artwork by Amanda LaPalme. Anyways, so once you actually create an account and log in over here, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. So what's really cool, and I'm going to show you guys a brief overview of this because I think this is kind of important because it is different than DevPro. Every one of these YGOPRO, like, I kind of want to say spin-offs, is unique, and I really like that. Anyways, so on news, which I think is the best section over here, it's going to tell you guys what cards were just added. I mean, these cards were just added 2 days ago, which is really cool. And then, like, you know, 2 days before that, they just added that. And then 3 days before that, they added all these cards. So they add cards very, very frequently. And what's cool is it tells you the name of the card, so you can maybe search it up. So if I was to go to deck edit over here, it's going to open up this page over here, and you can see this is my Magispectors. So it's basically exactly the same as all the other applications, but instead of it opening up in a new window, well, I mean, you could just click exit here and it kind of closes it anyways. But if you go to deck edit, they're trying to like integrate it onto the homepage. So I'm thinking in the future, perhaps they're going to give you the options to actually edit your deck without actually having the application. You can just log into the site. I believe that's what they're doing. It looks pretty cool, and that way you'd be able to edit your deck. Maybe you're at school, you got extra time, and you're just gonna like, you know, pretend you're working on your actual homework, but yeah, obviously you're editing your decks. I mean, I guess you could technically bring this on like a USB drive and throw it on there, and I'm sure it would run perfectly fine anyways. But yeah, make sure you get the framework on your school computers. Anyways, so yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. One thing I do want to mention in settings, there's a few settings that I highly recommend you guys to get or just change. So in the settings tab over here, make sure you select this auto card placement. What that means is when I place down a monster card, it's going to go in the slot right in the middle rather than me placing it you know, anywhere that I want to. It's just, it saves time. There's very few cards that are relevant to the card placement, or you can do random card placement, which it'll place it randomly. So like if I was activating a spell, it might activate it on the far left side, it might activate it on the far right side. It doesn't really, this one, like I said, these effects don't really matter. You could do this just for giggles, but for the most part, this should be enabled. And then obviously you can auto chain order or no delay for chains. And then obviously if you want sound, I kind of have anti-aliasing. It probably isn't really needed in this, but maybe I'll try that in the future. But there's also the chat, and then you can chat. I don't think we really need to go over that. But one thing that is important, they might have actually updated this. Again, make sure you wait for this thing to say update complete. But when you first log in, because I remember I had this when it was basically just launched. I'm not sure if it's the same right now, but one thing that's important, when you go to the game list, you'll see these are the people that are hosting over here. And one thing that is very important is that when you create your first deck, click on host and you'll see all these options over here, and you can still have priority. I don't know if you guys were young enough to remember, or I guess not young enough, old enough, or like I guess you were there back in the day, alright? Pepperidge Farm remembered. Anyways, so enable priority means that if I'm summoning a like card and my opponent, let's say, has effect failure, I can call priority and then they cannot effect failure my card. So that is something that is old. I mean, sometimes it's better in previous formats. That way, if you're playing a deck that was available with the priority ruling, then you'd be able to do that. And then there's disable check deck, and there's disable shuffle deck, and then of course you can use password. That means that let's say you want to do a specific person, you tell them the password, and then they can join. And then of course you hit host. So the first time you log into the application, you create a deck, you actually have to hit host, and you actually have to host the first game. I'm not sure if it's the same way now, but like I said before, I had to do it, so I'm just leave it there as a heads up. Maybe on Linux you have to do it too. I don't know. Again, when I got this application, it was just like fresh. Anyways, there's also the forum. It's going to open it up in a new page. Again, if you have any problems, highly recommend you guys to go into the forum. I mean, if you're looking to chat, there's the area called introductions, and then there's what's really cool is there's a section called it's like the trading card game. There's the competitive play, there's semi-casual play. So whatever things you want to talk about, or if there's a ruling question, you can ask it over here. And there's also this area that's called bug reports. Again, if there's any problems that you have with this, check here first. Don't just post a new thread. It frustrates me when people post a new thread and they don't even bother looking up if someone already had the same problem that they had. And there's also tournaments, there's unofficial ones and official ones. Sometimes there's official prize support. That's pretty cool, and I'm looking really forward to potentially the growth of this server of Yu-Gi-Oh. So I really feel like this one is a great one. It's like I said, it's new, so there might be a few bugs. Again, if there are bugs that you notice, make sure you actually check to see if someone else has that bug. I assume most people are reporting things that like are cards that are working improperly, or if the card is named wrong. Sometimes you'll notice over here when you go to the news section, you'll see that they've updated some of the cards, and they're like, oh, there's new cards here. Sometimes the card will have a different name, which I know it kind of sucks because you're like, I'm looking for this card and it's not here. Like this card, I believe, is actually named something else. Let's see it. Anti-Hope. So if I go to deck edit over here and the window pops up, I go to Anti-Hope, and you can see that Anti-Hope, I'm going to go back to the news over here on this screen. Okay, you can see that Anti-Hope, God to Despair, is not there. But if I go to actually, there's probably a lot of strange. Okay, there's Anti-Aircraft Flower. Pretty cool card. I've never even heard of it. But you can see that there's also anti-magic arrows. That card like just got released here, I believe, in the TCG. But for the most part, there will be small little bugs. But I mean, again, these guys are releasing stuff super fast. And it's like I said. Oh, by the way, this is all free. A lot of you guys ask me on Twitch, like, where do I get this? How do I buy this? It's completely free, and I think that's one of the best things with all of these YGO applications. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions on this, any more things that you are having trouble with, if there's a bunch of people having the same problem, I'll try to look it up on the forums. But yeah, like I said, the best thing to do is make sure you have the .NET framework, as well as just checking up on the forums. And like I said, I will follow up this video with maybe, I guess, like a frequently asked questions on this if you guys can't get it to run. Again, make sure that you're downloading it on the right one, because if you're on Mac and you're like, I can't open up an MSI or an EXE, I don't understand. Yeah, make sure you're clicking on the right one, because yeah, that would probably not work if you're trying to just, default opening up on an EXE. I think what do they use at it's like DMG. I don't know what they Dark Magician Girl. I think it's different on Mac what the file is. Again, I don't really know Macs too. Well, actually, I take it back. I kind of know Macs, but that's only when I'm using them for like Photoshop, because at one point I took a class. Not that it's really relevant to this video, and I'm ranting off way too much on unnecessary topics. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and then I'll try to address it in a future video so I can help some of you guys out to get on the server. There's not that many people that play right now. Let me go ahead and open it up. You can see that if you go to game list, it's getting way more popular. Like we can see, oh, these are spectate, by the way. I know it says join and spectate. The green ones are the ones that you can actually join. The ones over here are spectating duels. So usually there's I don't know, like 10-15 people that are in the join state, and then there are obviously like much more that are actually dueling. But it's a very great application. Have some fun with it, guys. And again, this one, it's going to be new, so expect a little bit of bugs, but that'll of course get fixed out in the future. Well, hopefully it will. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.